Bradford City continue their 2024-25 league campaign with a home clash against an out-of-form Port Vale side. Despite the fact they had an unbelievable start to the campaign, it is just 4 points out of their last possible 15 for Darren's side. And in today's video, you're going to find out how both teams have got on so far this season, what my starting 11 would be for this match if I was Graham Alexander. So as you can see here then, my team Bradford City, we currently sit 12th in the League 2 table. After 20 matches, we've got 7 wins, 7 draws and 6 defeats, scoring 22 goals, but also conceding, that's not right, we've scored 24 goals and we've conceded 22, which leaves us on a positive 2 goal difference and at 28 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a loss, a win, a draw and a draw. Our last couple of matches then have been a 3-0 defeat away at Notts County, an absolutely terrible performance, conceding 3 goals in 4 minutes, an absolute disgrace. It certainly didn't feel like there's 25 shots in that match, and it definitely did not feel like we had 12. We had a really poor display, never really looked like scoring in honesty. We had the odd half chance, and rightfully so, the fans were absolutely furious after a performance like that just before Christmas. To see over 2,000 Bantams let down in the way that they were was very disappointing. We also had a 1-0 win at home to Swindon Town. This was a game where we just got the job done. It was a terrible performance in honesty, 2 really poor sides. Swindon though, they never really looked like scoring, so it was a very comfortable 1-0 win. Obviously Callum Kavanagh, scoring the winner in that game, decided to cup his ears to the Bradford City fans after scoring his first league goal of the season in December. Then we also saw the performance that he put in against Notts County. We also had a 3-2 win away at Stockport County in the Football League Trophy round of 32. It has been confirmed that in the round of 16 we will travel to Villa Park to play at Aston Villa's under-21, so I am very much so looking forward to that. Probably be the highlight of our season in all honesty. But in terms of this game, really good performance. The 2 goals we conceded were individual mistakes from Colin Doyle and Brad Halliday. Apart from that though, really nice to get through into the next round, and obviously we've now got a very what's the right word, luxurious, whatever the word is. We've got a very nice trip to Villa Park on our hands. Just before that one, we had a 1-1 draw away at Crewe at Alexandra. The goal they scored again from the second phase of a set play, so disappointing, unmarked tapping at the back post. Alex Patterson got us back in the game just 8 minutes later, but then he would see red 2 minutes after that for kicking the ball at somebody at the same time the referee's blowing the whistle. I thought it was a very harsh red card in all honesty, and this will be the final of his 3-match ban. I'm really excited to see him back against Chesterfield in a few days, and he's going to be very important for us in the running between now and the end of the season. And then just before that one, we had a 1-1 draw at home to Barrow AFC. A terrible game of football, 2 goals of not really much quality in honesty, just poor sloppy defending, and it was just another point. It was a waste of everyone's time, and I'm hoping that the game on New Year's Day will be a little bit more entertaining than this one was. Compared though to Port Vale, they currently sit second in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 21 matches, they've got 10 wins, 7 draws and 4 defeats, scoring 26 goals and also conceding 19, which leaves them on a positive 7 goal difference and at 37 points. Their last couple of matches then have been a draw, a loss, a draw and a draw. They don't lose many matches, do Port Vale. They won a fair amount, 1-0 so far this season. They don't score loads of goals. You look at teams around them, Walsall with 37, Chesterfield 31, Wimbledon 31 as well. Chesterfield's on 36. I don't know what's going on with my eyesight today, but Port Vale don't score many goals. They also don't really concede many, and obviously recently their form has been dropping a little bit. In terms of their last couple of matches then, they had a 0-0 draw at home to Carlisle. The visitors had a goal disallowed inside the first couple of minutes, I believe, and it looked really soft in all honesty. I didn't see a foul there. If there was actually a foul, I think it should have been a penalty to Carlisle more than a free kick to Port Vale, and that's kind of the only thing that I've seen from this game. The stats though, they do look very even, lots of shots on both sides, but not really many on target, and I guess that obviously will then play out a 0-0 draw. They also had a 0-0 draw away to Bromley. Loads of chances in this game for both sides. There was 27 shots in total. I think I'm right in saying Bromley did actually concede, but it wasn't given. I would love to know, Port Vale fans, let me know down in the comment section down below, what was all the drama surrounding that? There was a picture that got put on social media. Was that a goal that Port Vale scored which just didn't get given? We had something similar against Salford earlier on in the season, but again with 27 shots to finish as a 0-0 draw is quite impressive in all honesty. They also had a 1-0 win away at Doncaster Rovers in the Football League Trophy. I would assume the round of 32, but it doesn't actually say specifically. Raheem Harper scoring a 92nd minute winner. Again, 25 shots in this game and just the 1 goal. I've no idea why there's so many chances but not really many goals in these Port Vale games, but I'm sure they're obviously delighted to get through into the next round. They also had a 1-0 defeat at home to Walsall. Jamil Matt scoring the winner in this game. It was quite even, in honesty. Walsall had a few more shots on target. Port Vale had a little bit more of the possession, but again, a match which includes Port Vale, which didn't see many goals. And they also had a 1-1 draw away to Cheltenham. Ronan Curtis rescuing a 94th minute winner, equaliser in that game after George Miller, former Bantam, opened the score in 8 minutes after the interval. Again, 23 shots in this game, just the 2 goals. I'd love to know what is the highest scoring Port Vale match so far this season, because they've not really scored many goals, but they also don't concede many. Maybe the 3-2 win at home to AFC Wimbledon. They had a 3-1 at home to Fleetwood. It's not been very exciting so far this season. They had a 4-1 away at Newport, who did have go down to 10 men. A 3-2 defeat at home to Doncaster as well. A 4-0 loss away at Barrow. So there was goals at the start of the season. Recently, though, in both ends, they have started to dry up a little bit, and I see this one playing out as, well, you're going to have to wait for my score prediction at the end of the video. Before we do go any further, though, with today's video, don't forget to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 50 likes on today's video? That'd be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What is your score prediction for this match, and what would your starting 11 be as well? In terms of my team then for this game, I would stick with the 3-4-2-1 formation. I don't think we should try and play 2 up top when we know that none of our strikers other than Andy Cook are really good enough. I've made a lot of changes for this game. If I just go through and quickly count it, I think there's 7 or 8 changes, something like that, from Saturday against Notts County. We've got a big squad. They played terrible in one game, so why not give other players an opportunity? Yes, we're at home to Port Vale, and you know, Alexander seemed to be quite happy with the performance we put in against Notts County, apart from a mad 5 minutes that they've described it as. But that team has still put in that mad 5 minutes. Let's just not include it and not count it. There needs to be changes for this game, in my opinion. In goal, I would go with Sam Walker. It's a bit of an interesting one at Sam Walker, because I do think he needs to be replaced in obviously the next week when the January transfer window does open. But against Notts County, the first goal, don't think he can really do much about that, in all honesty. The second goal, maybe you could anticipate that Jatta's going to head the ball down and close it down a bit better, but again, I wouldn't really blame him for that. The third goal, I think he's terrible goalkeeping. He absolutely has to save that. Dives way too early. I have no idea what he's trying to do. It's absolutely woeful goalkeeping, but he did later on in the game make 2 or 3 pretty decent saves, so I'm not going to criticise him too much. He certainly saved us more than what he cost us in that game, but he still absolutely has to do better with that third goal, and individual errors like that are certainly costing us so far this season. In terms of my back 3 then, we've conceded 3 goals. It should be 3 changes for me. At right centre back, I would bring back in Czech Diabate. I know that Aidan Baldwin for the large part has been pretty good so far this season, and I wouldn't necessarily blame him for any of the 3 goals that we conceded, but when you're conceding 3 goals, defensively changes have to be made, and I'd like to see Czech Diabate get another opportunity. I made a video for Tier 3 channel members over on the main channel talking about all these different loan players. I do still expect Czech Diabate to go back to Exeter in January, but if he plays in this game and he has a good performance, who knows what could happen. He just needs to make sure he's switched on and concentrated for the full 90 minutes. In the middle, I would go with Neil Byrne. Over the last couple of matches, I don't think Paul Huntington has been amazing against Notts County. It was an absolutely terrible performance, massively at fault for the first goal, terrible distribution. I think his distribution for the large part of Bradford City has been really underwhelming and disappointing. While aerially, I think Huntington has done pretty well. I thought he struggled a little bit up against Alassana Jatta, and again, even for Notts County's second goal, I think he could do better with that one, to be honest with you. I think if he anticipates better, closes the space down, he can get to McGoldrick a little bit quicker. So I would bring back in Neil Byrne, obviously a man we've not seen for quite a while, but I'd like to see him get another opportunity in there and see what he is all about. And at left centre back, again, I want to see Kieran Kelly start. Jack Shepherd had another really poor performance against Notts County, committing to balls which he was never going to get to, was at fault for the first goal largely. I know Huntington gave the ball away, but then Shepherd commits to Dan Crowley when he's never going to win that. Crowley pulls his pants down, nutmegs him, makes him look stupid, and Kieran Kelly I just don't think would allow that. He came on for like the last 10-15 minutes or so, and he's just a little bit more solid defensively, in my opinion. I think even the third goal, Shepherd gets bullied a little bit by Jatta. Just bring him down, take a cynical yellow, something like that. But Kieran Kelly for me should come back into this side, and I'd like to see a fresh back 3 in there, because recently I mean, look at our defensive record so far this season. We've kept 3 or 4 clean sheets. It's nearly 2025. That's unacceptable. Defensive changes have to be made. We've got 8 centre-backs. None of them are really top class for this level, so it's certainly a position we do need to improve in January. And no, I don't want to see Romany Critchlow return. But the Romany Critchlow debate is one for another video. So in terms of my midfield 4 then, at right wing back, I would go with Brad Halliday. When you've got someone like Jay Ben, who did give his all against Notts County, but again, I thought struggled for the large part in terms of quality in the final third, defensive ability, I bring in Brad Halliday, who is traditionally a little bit more solid defensively than Jay Ben. That is his competition directly in that position, isn't it? So I would bring Halliday back into the side, see what he can produce in this game. When you come off the back of a 3-0 defeat, it's not necessarily about which players deserve to start, it's which players don't deserve to be out of the side the least, basically. So I'll bring Halliday back in and see if he can hopefully get back to his best in this one. As my 2 central midfielders then, at first I would go with Corey Evans. Hopefully we'll be back for this game. He didn't quite make the Notts County game, unfortunately, but he should hopefully be back in this one against Port Vale. I've been a big fan of Richie Smallwood. I think a lot of times when he's been wrongfully criticised by the Bradford City fans, I've stuck by him. Against Notts County though, he had a really, really bad performance, and I would actually bring him out of the team for this game. If Evans is fit, then I would start him over Richie Smallwood. Obviously, Alexander's not going to do any of these changes. He'll make one at the absolute maximum. He's got far too many favourites, but I think Smallwood did have a really bad game, constantly giving the ball away. Dan Crowley pulled his pants down, absolutely. And when the fans were singing, "We've got the ball, we've lost the ball," Smallwood conveniently just kept playing these insanely hard passes, so then the fans would switch over from "we've got the ball" to "then we've lost the ball." I assume it wasn't intentional, but it was certainly very funny to see. I mean, if you don't see the funny side of that, then you definitely will cry. Partnering Corey Evans in the midfield then, I would go with Anthony Sarcevic. He was one of the few decent players from the game. You know, he's one of the few players to get above a 3 out of 10. Now, I know the third goal he should do better with. He should put a tackle in. He should be a bit strong in there, and I do certainly buy that. But I thought in the second half he was driving us forward. He was much more of a threat in them attacking positions. Nearly scored as well with a decent half volley, which went just past Alex Bass's near post, but I don't think he was going to save it if it was on target. He's obviously building up his fitness. I think he got 70 minutes against Notts County, 60 minutes, maybe 30 minutes the game before that as well. So I'd like to see him maybe get 80, 85 minutes in this one against Port Vale, and hopefully he can come up with his first at Bradford City goal. As my left wing back, I would stick with Lewis Richards. Tyreek Wright might be back for this game. He's been back in full training for a little bit now, but if he doesn't make this one, he might make Chesterfield. I still would stick with Lewis Richards though. First half, I don't think he was amazing, but second half, all of our good attacking play went down the left-hand side and went through him. He was the only one really putting crosses into the box. Physically, I like Lewis Richards, and again, similar to Sarcevic, where he wasn't amazing, but he was probably one of the few players to get above a 3 out of 10. As my 2 at number 10s then, firstly I would go with Jamie Walker. I think we should have definitely started him against Notts County. His experience would have been massive in a game like that, but no, Graham Alexander decided to stick with Callum Kavanagh, who put in one of the worst performances I have ever seen from a professional footballer. We could all see that coming, and Callum Kavanagh's not really good enough to play for Bradford City, whereas Jamie Walker at least has proven in the past that he will actually run around and he actually wants to play for this football club. So he would definitely start for me in one of them number 10 positions. And on the other side, I would go with Clark Ador. If you stick with Bobby Poynton, I'm not against that shout in all honesty, but I think when you've got a big squad, you've got different options. I think Clark Ador's ball retention is going to be very important for us as well, and obviously yet to get off the mark so far this season with a goal. I don't know if he's got an assist or not in the league as of right now, but I'd like to see him get the start in this one, and hopefully he can come up with some more magic. As my striker, obviously Andy Cook. I thought he had a pretty poor game against Notts County in all honesty. First 10-15 minutes he was okay. After that though, I thought Matty Platt did shepherd him very well, as we all expected him to do so. Didn't really have many chances or much to work with though, in all honesty. If you want Andy Cook to score goals, you need to create chances for him. I think he's dropped down to 3rd in terms of the league's top goal scorers. Michael Cheek and Matty Stevens now ahead of him, and he's slowly sliding down there, but he's not going to go up there, is he, if we're not scoring goals. On the bench then for me, that would leave Colin Doyle, Jay Ben, Jack Shepherd, Richie Smallwood, Bobby Poynton, Ollie Sanderson and Tyler Smith. The players currently unavailable are Callum Johnson, Alex Patterson, who is serving the final of his 3-game ban, Joe Adams and Tyreek Wright. I'm not too sure though specifically on Tyreek Wright. So the players who miss out then through selection will be Zach Hady, Aidan Baldwin, Paul Huntington, Gabriel Wadsworth, Callum Kavanagh, Harry Ibbotson and Viden Oliver. My score prediction, I don't think there'll be many goals in this whatsoever. I think it's going to be a classic. Bradford City 0, Port Vale 1. Obviously it is Boxing Day. I'm recording this before Christmas, so I wish a Merry Christmas to you all, and obviously a Happy New Year, but there's going to be videos in between between now and the new year. So I'll probably wish you a second happy new year. I'm bloody generous, aren't I? Thank you all for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one.